Um, I'll start with a brief history. I'd hate to say history because it's only been the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
I've always thought that Seymour to be a quiet town. You know, occasionally you hear like the Dukes of Hazzard chase going on, and that's about it. But I was made aware that there was that Homeland Security was operating in the schools here. And that kind of, in a sense, struck a nerve. I just finished working for Homeland Security down at the Hurricane Katrina. And I said, Homeland Security in the schools? Why? You know? And how I heard about it was somebody had mentioned, it was one of the staff members at the middle school that said, that I asked about the security devices used in the school. Are they efficient? Do the doors lock so kids can't leave the school, type of thing, the first graders. And she said, well, you know, why don't you talk to our security director? He's actually part of Homeland Security. And I said, wow, all right, I'll have to set up a meeting. And I'd actually gone into the school immediately. I spoke with the secretary. And I said, yeah, I'm looking for Kearns. Name's Kearns, security guy, Homeland Security. He said, oh yeah. I said, is he really in Homeland Security? She says, yeah, he's a member of Homeland Security. He said, well, I'd like to set up a meeting. And he wasn't available, so I gave him a call back. And he said, oh, well, I'm actually the emergency management planner of the town of Seymour. I don't know where he heard that I was from Homeland Security, right? Yeah. Unless maybe he would be bragging about something like that.
There's a police officer that's assigned to Seymour schools, full-time? Uniformed officer with a gun?
Not non-uniformed officers, plain clothes with a gun and badge. Yeah.
In a school?
Yeah.
That's high school?
That's a high school. He also patrols, he'll make stops at the middle school and, from what I gather, elementary as well.
So, there was a girl that passed a note that that she uninvited some other girl to a party. Elaborate on that if you could.
Absolutely. Apparently, there was a girl who was handicapped in the school. Now, I don't know the extent of the handicapped. It could be much like mental handicapped, or I don't know whether it's physical or not. But she does take the same classes as everyone else. So, what I had heard was that there was an incident. I had spoken to the parents who were involved as well.
What's the girl's name?
The girl's name is Gabrielle.
Gabrielle what?
I can't recall the last name.
Is that the one that John Schoenhorn, the lawyer out of Hartford, the civil rights lawyer, is handling the case?
No, that's Emily Mancy.
Yeah.
Who's a friend of Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Now the child with the handicap was wearing a shirt that said, "Put your hand here," and it had an outline of a hand on her shirt on the back.
Uh-huh.
So the girl Gabrielle did it. She put her hand on her, and the child was offended or felt threatened by it and made a complaint. Well, sure enough, the girl was arrested and suspended for, I believe, 5 days. She was invited to a party. Both girls were invited to a party.
Yes.
Okay. Emily was hosting the party, and I believe it was for Halloween. And Emily heard about the trouble that the girl, her friend, had gotten into, and she also was aware that the handicapped girl had pretty much initiated what had happened with the being arrested and suspended. So
the interrogation. The first girl's name is that you were just talking about?
the first girl is Gabrielle.
Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Is that the one that was in the back room without parents, accused of being lesbian? She was she under arrest at that point, or
her? I haven't had a chance to speak with her parents yet. From what I gather, the parents actually were able to speak with the guy in charge of security there, Rich Kearns, and Rich Kearns was very offensive and got up in the father's face and said, "This is my house, and I say what goes on at my house." And they're from Argentina, I believe, and they didn't know what to think, and they left. And I'm sure, and what they did was they assumed this will all blow over. Okay. Now Emily is the girl that you're referring to.
Yeah.
She had actually put out a note, which is a retraction of an invitation. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the note was to uninvite students because of the problem, and I thought that was a pretty responsible thing to do. She gave the note to the handicapped girl and said, I can't quote what she said, but it was something along the lines of, because of that incident that happened, I don't think it's a good idea that you come to the party.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Next thing you know, Emily's called into an office, the main office, where she's met by the principal and the security officer, Rich Kearns. They take her into his office, which I witnessed for the first time today, which is kind of like a small office, 3 large windows from the bottom to the ceiling that are shades drawn.
Yeah.
She was brought in there. She was in the room for a little over an hour, being interrogated by policemen.
Is this the girl that was allegedly touched inappropriately or touched allegedly inappropriately?
No, the handicapped girl was the one that was touched.
So what did this girl do then?
This girl had, the only thing that she had done was uninvite a handicapped girl from a party. And the girl, I don't know if she cried or felt bad, but went to the teachers and complained about it. So they pulled Emily into the office. They wanted the note. Emily said, the note's at home. I don't have the note. So they took her to a locker where they emptied it out and took her back to the office, went through her purse, backpack, pulled all the notes out that they can.
So they did they just searched her stuff without a warrant. I mean,
There's no probable cause for a crime even.
so who did the searching? The police?
The security guard.
Security guard.
Right.
Is he police or no?
He's not police. He has
He's an alleged Homeland Security guy?
He's the alleged Homeland Security guard. Now, I did find out that he was a police officer, and he was also a corrections officer in a juvenile facility.
His full name?
Richard Kearns.
Richard Kearns, K-E-R-N-S?
Kearnes.
Okay.
Okay. And 6'5", very intimidating. And I had the pleasure of meeting him today. Now, I can just imagine being a 13-year-old girl in a room like this.
So he's the 13-year-old girl's in the room with the Homeland Security guy, 6'5",
Yeah.
police, and
Yeah.
a principal,
Yeah.
and who else?
That's
Just-
it.
That's it.
That's it.
And is the interview for her to be arrested, or what's the?
The interview, from what I gather, was just to have a little circus of humiliation because, for one, she had already stated that she didn't have the note. The note was at home with her mom, and she had told them that you can call my mom, and she'll be more than happy to bring the note in. Well, that wasn't good enough for them, so they searched her possessions.
Was she accused of being a lesbian?
Well, they read her notes, and they read them in where they it was like a joke. They said, "Ooh, this is interesting. Let's put this in this goes to the mommy pile, and this note, let's put this into this goes to this teacher's pile." And by the way, are you a lesbian? That type of thing. These were girl-to-girl notes.
Who told you this?
The mother as well as the daughter, Emily. Okay. And the next thing, she gets so embarrassed by this. Now this is an hour into it. She has no representation, no parent there, not a lawyer, no teachers on her side, no one.
So what crime is she accused of committing?
Nothing. Up to this point, nothing.
Okay, so she's being verbally tortured and humiliated. So what happens then?
Well, she loses. She becomes frightened. Now she's worried about notes that were in her purse and her backpack. She grabs the notes off the table and tears them up.
Yeah.
At which point the security officer claims assault.
So a 13-year-old is accused of assaulting a Homeland Security or a police officer.
Who knows? You know?
So this is a Homeland Security. What? She's going to fly a plane into a building or what?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. He claimed assault immediately.
Uh huh.
And she was going to be, then the parents were called, right, after that. So they told her that she was going to be arrested for assault. And what had happened was she spoke with the officer,
Yeah.
Officer Dietrich, and he had said, given her a summons for disorderly conduct. Now, if she was told assault, and the security officer claims assault because she lunged at him.
At the notes or at the...
He claims him.
6'5"?
6'5", yeah.
And she's 13, how big is she?
She might be bigger than 6'5".
So she's just probably about midsection, so...
Yeah. Across the table.
And, he felt intimidated and afraid where he'd been assaulted.
Yeah. Enough to tell the policeman to arrest her for assault. The policeman who was there witnessing the whole entire thing.
And I wonder if they could keep a straight face doing that.
I don't know. I wonder if he had maybe an accident or something. You know, there comes a time where kids you don't feel threatened by kids. And that's the time when you become a mature adult and you look at yourself as a mentor. And
So was handcuffs placed on her at the